Traditionally, I always viewed the introvert extrovert dichotomy like this. Like, extroverts just loved being around people, introverts just fucking hated people and loved being alone and isolating. And, like, maybe that's partially true. But, like, when I was in university, one of my professors gave me a definition of extroverts and introverts that I just feel like is more accurate and that like resonates with me a lot more. And this is probably the official definition. I don't know. But essentially, what she posited was that extroverts, it's not just that like they're good with people or like being around people. Like, it's not that simple. Extroverts get their energy from being around people. And obviously there's nuance to this. Some people have like traits of both. But like if we're just speaking in general terms, extroverts get their energy from being around other people. They're just like, yeah, fuck. And it's like, that's what gives them their energy to go throughout the day, is that. And then introverts are the people, it's like, it doesn't mean that you're like socially awkward. You can be, but it doesn't mean that you are. It's not, you're just like, oh, the fuck, like, hi, like, how the fuck are you? It's not like that. I mean, I guess it can be, but like, it's more so like being super social all the time drains you and you recharge your battery by being alone. That's the main difference. Extroverts recharge by socializing. Introverts recharge by isolating. And I find myself very firmly in the latter camp. I am by and large an introvert. When it comes to public interactions, I think that I'm pretty decent with people, right? Like, I don't struggle socially. And I have a lot of friends, and like when it comes to social interactions, I would say I'm like more successful than not. You know what I mean? I've had my cringe, sure, we all have, but it's like, I feel like my social interactions go more normal. My social interactions go more normally than not, just like any other human. But like, I'm an introvert. If I am out too long, I get fucking fried, man, and I can't reconcile that. It's hard to live like that, man, because the world demands so much. And like, I have been blessed to have a very reliable and kind-hearted and good network of people in my life. But the thing about your network is that if it is large, it will more often than not demand your time. So I work full-time right now, right? As many of us do, as many of us have to. And it seems like every time I have a modicum of free time, it is always taken up. Because I need to adhere to those relationships in my life. Or there's something very timely that must happen on a specific date that I can't postpone. So then it ends up being, if you work 4 or 5 days a week, you maybe have 2 or 3 days off. But then if you work 5 days, those 2 days, you got to hang out with somebody, or there's like an obligation you have. If you work 4 days, it just happens 3 times, And it's like, I know. Oh, well, Quiddo, what the fuck? Are you bitching about people wanting to see you? No, not in such terms. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that as an introvert, as I suspect many of you watching probably are, like if you're chronically online like me, odds are you probably are an introvert. You, like, when during any of that do you get a minute to reach? A minute? When do you get a minute? When do you get a minute to recharge during any of this? Because let me break this down for you. Oh, fuck. Hold on. Wait, let me go back. That was a bad smack. Let me get you a good one. So here's the thing. Fuck. I can't do it. Usually they're a lot louder, but whatever. Anyway, fuck. Like, over the course of a day, say you work 8 hours. My shifts are 8.5 hours, but it's like most people it's 8. So say you work 8 hours. You got to get up an hour or two before your shift. You got to eat, maybe take care of your pets, take a fucking shit. You got to do what you got to do. So then you get up and it's time to go. So you go to work. There's the commute. It could be anywhere from like 15 minutes to a fucking hour, depending on where you work. You go to work for at least 8 hours. Then you come home. You have to do the commute again. And yeah, you come home. You got to eat, and if you have like an animal or a kid or whatever the fuck, you got to like take care of that. Maybe say hi to your partner. Be like, hey, what's up? How are you? Humpy. And then, do your thing. But you got to get the gym in, right? You can't just like lose control of your physicality. So it's like you got to exercise. That's going to take 1 to 2 hours per day, depending on what it is that you're doing. So you got to do that. And then it's like, okay, well, yeah, it's like, well, let me check in my email. It's like, oh, and God forbid your job is not the thing that you wanted to devote your life to passion-wise. So then it's like you have your fucking miserable-ass job. And then you come home, and then you're like, well, hold on, I got to work on the thing I actually care about, whether that's like a novel or like game development or a short film you're making. Shit, it doesn't even have to be that. It could just be literally anything. Maybe you're trying to have like a side gig as like a fucking a doodad salesman, and you're just like, well, I want to sell doodads. I just don't have the business model set up. So then it's like I gotta fucking work that out. But while I'm in an office, like fucking, I'm like an auditor, or I don't know, whatever the fuck you are. But it's like, if you like your job, obviously this might change things, but it's like a lot of people don't fucking like their jobs. And, you know, me being among them, it's not like there's anything wrong with my job per se. It's just that like when I'm working for something that isn't mine, it just feels like I'm stalling in life, you know? It's like, I get it. You got to make money. You got bills to pay, whatever the fuck. But it's just like, you know, I think ideally most people would probably opt to work for themselves, not for like some massive corporation, you know? Who knows? Maybe I'm just like the most fucking out of touch, entitled fucking bullshit ass dude. But I don't think I am. I think a lot of people feel this way. And this is all to say, it's like, where does an introvert get the time during all of this? Because if you're working full time, man, and then on your days off, you're just, maybe that is when you spend your time working on things that matter to you. Because I know that when I'm not working, I'm working. You know, I'm either grinding away here, posting shit on TikTok, writing, editing, fucking singing, you know, performing, doing what I have to do to try to like trudge my way out of the fucking goop of the 9-to-5 grind, you know, like that's the promised land, right? To not have to do that, to put bread on the table, doing the thing that you had always wanted to do. That's like what we're all chasing, but then you're so fucking burnt from all the shit that you got to do, right? You're burnt the fuck out. You got nothing left in the tank. So you're a fucking zombie when you show up to a social interaction, or when it is time to show up for the thing that you actually care about, whether that's writing, game dev, short film, passion project, whatever the fuck. You're fucking zoinked. You're fucking just out of your mind. You're so tired and disassociated from like a whole week of working for shit you don't give a fuck about. And it's like, yeah, if you do love your job genuinely, maybe this doesn't apply to you. Maybe it still does. I mean, because there's more to life than just working, you know? Maybe you just want to chillax. Big chillin' is important, and I think that like a lot of people don't value that, especially in this country. It's just like, dude, big chillin' is part of the human existence. Big chillin', otium, it's part of life. And I'm just burnt, lads and lasses. I'm burnt, you know? I just be grinding. And if I don't post, it's because the daily grind got to me. And I'm drowning in it. I'm drowning. You know? But I don't want to drown. I want to swim type shit. I want to swim. But you don't always get to, you know? And I guess that's really all I wanted to talk about today, the burnout. Because what happens then when you're invited to a function? Could be cool, could be lit. Maybe people that you really care about are going to be there. But it's Saturday, or it's Sunday, or it's Friday, whenever like the end of the week is to you, and you really want to go to the function, but you can't because you're too fucking fried. But how do you explain that to someone? Obviously, you can just fucking say that, you know? End of problem. But it's like, it's not always the end, because not everyone agrees with this. And so you can be confronted with a group of people where you're just like, yeah, dude, I'm fried. I can't make it, man. I'm sorry. Like, there's just nothing left in the tank. And they're like, all right, well, you don't fucking care. And obviously you can just say like, if those people genuinely treat your pain so casually, fuck them. And yeah, I mean, yeah. But it's just having to have that conversation that I think is like the problem. I don't want to have to explain myself all the fucking time. But like, I guess maybe I have to. But at the same time, it's like, if I just wasn't so fucking burnt, this wouldn't even be an issue in the first place. I think that there's a balance that we can strike. Like if I have to give my time to a corporation, it's like, yeah, if that could just be like 3 days out of the week, not 4, not 5, 3. Most of the days of the week belong to me. It's my life after all. It should belong to me. Yours should belong to you. And it's just something to think about. You know, like most people spend 40 hours a week doing something they don't give a fuck about. Think about that. Really think about that. 40 hours a week spending time doing something you don't give a fuck about. Because if you don't, you can't survive. That feels like shit. And I'm not saying anything profound here, but I think that if we could get to a place where, look, if we have to sacrifice a little bit of time to the greater good, fine, for society. It's like if I have to contribute like 20 hours a week or something, but there's like a balance, I think, that can be struck where you get your own fucking life back. And then maybe you also contribute to society. Or maybe the thing that you are pursuing is something that would contribute to society in a heavy way. I don't know. These are just thoughts. Ramblings from a fucking burnt out man. I just wanted to ramble about that for a second, man. I really needed to fucking ramble about that. Because it's like, it's just been going on for so long. 29 years old. I grow weary. I'm an old wizened wizard. By internet time, not by absolute human time. But it's like 29 years old. I first started working at like 18. So it's like 11 years. 11 years of just so many hours sunk into something that I don't care about the end goal of. And I don't mean to sound entitled. I'm not above hard work. I don't think anybody is. But it's like I would like to really work hard for goals that are mine. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not a corporate simp. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, the corporate mission is not my mission. It's like whoever's the CEO, bro, that's your mission, bro. Do whatever you got to do, but I want to do what I got to do. But anyway, I don't know. Maybe some of this resonated with you. Maybe it's just nice to know that there's some other dude out there who's struggling with the burnout, Or maybe I'm just speaking into the void, shouting at stars, a lone wizard, studying the tomes and speaking ancient tongues into a careless void. Who cares no more for the changing of seasons than the ramblings of a madman? But yeah, burnout sucks. And, just fucking sucks to not have the time to pursue what you want. Anyway, bye!